Hi everyone! So I just finished updating all the defeat planners for next season. So in case you're not aware, I've been working on this for the last few days on stream, just slowly going through every single build, updating them, and we have all the planners here. They are on my Discord if you are interested in just grabbing some of the new planners. But the new Maxwell guides are yet to come. So I've just been working on them for like 14 hours straight, so I didn't actually do anything else today. And one of those projects was writing the new LOD Meteor wizard. So I completely reworked the guide, and we have a new Bazooka wizard coming up, it seems. So as you might have seen in the final patch notes, there was a huge buff here with Member of Twilight now giving you Meteor Shower to whatever meteor you use and 400% extra damage. It's absolutely bonkers. It's really crazy how powerful that is. And we are basically back to Bazooka times now with the damage and even beyond most likely. So we have the new Smoldering Core that basically replaces the old Death Wish. And now we also have the Mempo that gives us this insane buff here that wasn't really present before. And yeah, I guess you also lost the Edge Sigil, but this doesn't really compete with the Helm. So I've been working on this planner here, and I made some like fresh out of the oven setups. Solo push, 4-man, speed GRs, everything, and it's looking amazing for the Meteor Wizard, for LOD, and also for Tarasha. So I have the Tarasha set up as well here. That looks a bit different. There's no Archon there. You just can't do it with all the different like items required. You just have too many pieces. There's so many Meteor items so that you can only do Archon on LOD. And you can also do non-Archon on LOD. So if you really don't like it, you can also play this. There's various variations here. Unfortunately, I can't show you any actual gameplay of this. This is mostly theoretical. But I think we have the mechanics pretty much down, and I think I have the setups down unless there's some big surprise on patch day and something works completely differently than expected, which seems unlikely. But I have this old video here from season 19 when I went on NA and did some quick rank 1 here with Rax's team as a support DH, and this is basically how the Meteor Wizard looks in action. So you like throw this one big star pack and boom. And this is a GR 150. This was before it was like completely annihilated from the following patch. So this was when the old Bazooka Wizard was still very strong. And now we have a setup that is most likely better than that. So the idea is you play around the conventional element cycle and you stack up all the multipliers there is. I think this is probably the build with like the most like, individual multipliers that apply to the main skill. So we have the Star Pact first of all, where you spend all of your arcane power for this one big impact. And right now I would assume that everything that applies to your original Star Pact cast also applies to all of the Meteor Shower Star Packs that come from the Member of Twilight afterwards. So this would probably include the Weather Force Arcane Attunement that you can stack up to incredible amounts in a large pool. You have Arcane Dynamo with 60% extra damage as well. And then you have the Archon multipliers, and you have like everything else here. And then there's obviously the weapons, 400%, Smoldering Core, 500%, Mempo, 400%. Like, that's the Squirt's necklace. Yeah, you're gonna pop some really big meteors here. You look at this number, this is a 4 quadrillion hit for one meteor without the Mempo bonus. So you have to take this times 5 and then times 7 from the Meteor Shower. And you're gonna be annihilating. Oh yeah, this is all without group buffs and without Oculus Ring, by the way. So in fact, this setup looks so powerful that you might not even need all this Archon stuff to just destroy GR 150s, even without too much Paragons. So this is why we made the Death Wish setup. This one is also incredibly tanky because of the Orb of Infinite Death. The idea here is that you replace one of the staffs and you have, first of all, a 13th LOD item, which is kind of nice. This is actually an LOD build that has only 12 items. I think it's the only one in the game. And here you actually have the full, and well, you have like the extra damage coming from the 2 weapon slots here instead of one of the staffs. There's no Archon here, so you can do damage every 16 seconds. So in case this build turns out way too powerful, you don't really want to play like this Archon rotation where you can only do a nuke every 32 seconds. And instead you play this and you can do damage like way more frequently. So this is way easier. You just like throw the meteor and then start channeling, and yeah, maybe a few of them will not be buffed by Death Wish, but most of them will be, and you're gonna have very, very good damage either way. There's also a double staff version, so this is basically similar to the other one, just without Archon again. And again, you can also throw meteors every 16 seconds here. So this is basically how those setups go. The thing about the Archon variant is also that while it is so powerful, it is also super hard to gear and super hard to play. So I created this attack sequence here that you basically have to follow precisely like this to actually play the build. And the reason for that is that you need Zodiac procs to reset your Archon cooldown. And you also need to manage your resource at the same time, because every time you throw Meteor, you go down to 0. And you also need to manage the Arcane Dynamo. You need to end up with exactly 5 stacks right on the final Meteor that you throw and then enter Archon to get the bonus multipliers. So you need to basically alternate the Meteor and the generators, and then you just start spamming Meteors. This is possible even though you spend all your resources all the time because of Arcane Power on crit, so this is a very important stat on this build. The ground effect of Meteors actually gives you Arcane Power. So the idea here is that you throw all these Meteors and they just tick with the ground effect, and you'll just get like more and more resources, and especially after you've done this a few times, it will essentially fill up immediately. So that's the idea. Then towards the end, you pop the Vapor Force for the 4% buff per target. You get the last generator cast for the Arcane Dynamo, you throw the Meteor in the Enter Archon, and boom. So this is how we expect it to happen. Either way, most of this is still theoretical now, so we actually have to see on the patch day next week, and we're gonna try it out in 4-man to see how it goes, see if there's like anything that we have to change. But for now, this is kind of the expected setup. There are various small adjustments we can make in terms of the cooldown requirements and the resources that would help a little bit here in case this doesn't work as smooth as expected, but I'm quite positive. There's also some speed versions, so in case you're curious how this will be played, this is basically without Archon, of course. You just want to go fast. I made a Enderwalker version for like really low GRs that is like way more smooth, and then there's like the double staff version here again. And this one is actually played with lightning, so that's pretty cool. Just to get like the instant impacts. They're way faster than the other runes, and I think it's gonna feel pretty amazing. The same for the 16. Yeah, and this is basically the update here. So Tarasha is looking really strong, but LOD looks even stronger. And well, both of them most likely end up in S tier actually. So that's how good Meteor is gonna be now with this new Mempo. The one really big downside that Tarasha has, it's gonna be very, very squishy. So this is like Rathma level squishy basically. I also put in an esoteric alteration here just to like give it some kind of toughness. And yeah, it's just really hard to survive. You have like almost no items really. Here's a solo push variant where you just like spam meteors, and you have an Aquila, and if you manage your resource cost reduction properly, you can actually kind of keep Aquila, but that is kind of like the only thing in this build. And this is not really the best setup anyway. So also here you're gonna play Star Pact in push, and you're not gonna have Aquila, and you have to do like this whole combo with like Arcane Dynamo, etc. Again, you don't really have shields, so this is not looking really doable for like low paragons. So we might have to figure something out there. Personally, I was hoping for some extra toughness buff in the final patch notes for Tarasha as well as the damage buff. But apparently that didn't happen, and we only get this 50% all res and it stacks 4 times. So you get 200% all res, which sounds pretty good, but you don't really have anything else. You don't really have like opportunities to even include much else because of all the Meteor items. So even if you want it, that's basically not possible, and you just gotta deal with it, I guess. The only way that I could see this being a way more tanky setup is to go with a similar version than the Death Wish on LOD. So just have to open Infinite Death, and you try to include Explosive Blast. So I might try to make a setup like that, and this would be way more playable. But then we're back to some Death Wish playstyle, I guess. Either way, it's looking very exciting. So Meteor is actually back. I'm very pumped for this, and I can't wait to play the new wizard. It's gonna look like a really interesting season now. So we have 3 different trash killers now with the Meteor, Nova, and Hoda for 150s. and also a pretty diverse speed farming meta. I'll keep you guys updated about more build guides and obviously what happens to the meteor once we do our testing. Hope you enjoyed this video here. Subscribe for more free content, and I'll see you guys next time.